may be seated. Indeed, it is wonderful to be together again. Let us pray. Gracious, loving, and life-giving God, we gather in your presence today to honor our wonderful nursing and healthcare staff. Thanking you for holding up their choice to work here at Westminster Canterbury. We lift each of them up to you in gratitude for the healing, the comfort, and the hope that they bring. In a pandemic time that none of us could have imagined, you, O great God, have reminded us over and over again how connected we are as a human family. We have learned more than we ever could have imagined how connected we are as the human race and as the Westminster Canterbury family. You have shown us under no uncertain terms that our very breath has the power to either guard or threaten the lives of others. We thank you, tender God, for giving unquenchable strength to our nursing staff, for the times that they have pushed themselves beyond exhaustion, when they themselves had worries about their own health, the health of their families and co-workers, and yet they kept going. For the times that our nursing staff were the family of our residents, when our residents' own families were unable to be physically present with their loved ones, we give you all praise. Holding hands, offering an ear, providing skilled care. May you multiply to your glory each act of expertise and kindness that have been offered to our residents. And for the support that our staff offered one another when times were tough. Thank you, Lord. May they teach us all what it looks like to live a life of fierce commitment, gentle compassion, and patient persistence. Bless them. Bless them, Lord, for what they have done and what they will do in the days ahead. May each and every one of our healthcare staff know of their incredible value as our beloved colleagues and friends, and may they embrace our deep and abiding appreciation. As we honor them and bless their hands today, we know that through them, your grace and healing is as present as our very breath. For we pray this in your name. Amen.
So good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. Before we begin, just a couple things. I want to acknowledge and thank our resident, Annette Sparks, for providing our piano accompaniment for today. So thank you, Annette, very much. And an unexpected program change is, unfortunately, our soloist, Denise Sumsky, is not able to be here with us today. But I'm happy to welcome you to our 2022 National Nurses Week Award celebration. Nurses Week, as most of you know, occurs each year from May 6th, which is known as National Nurses Day, and it goes through today, which is the birthday of Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. During this week at Westminster Canterbury, we recognize all our caregiving staff and take advantage of this time to honor our staff with 2 awards. Each year, residents, family members, and supervisors are given the opportunity to nominate a certified nursing assistant and medication aide for the TAB Award to recognize service excellence. The Clinical Excellence Award is given to one nurse to recognize outstanding clinical and leadership skills. Because we have not been able to recognize our caregiving staff since 2019, we're happy to share that today we will be announcing TAB Award recipients and Clinical Excellence Award recipients for the prior 2 years as well as this year. Yay. A spirit of generosity runs through Westminster Canterbury. It's felt in many ways. The care and support demonstrated between our caregivers and residents, the teamwork that takes place every day among our dedicated nursing teams, and the generosity shown by those who support healthcare excellence with gifts to the Westminster Canterbury Foundation. Generosity sets our community apart from others. Gifts to the foundation have provided resources for these Nurses Week Awards. You will hear more about that later in the program. Your gifts also support our caregivers, clinical training, employee scholarships, memory support therapies, recreational programs, equipment, technology, and more. There's a special write-up celebrating this generosity available in the November gallery. So we are gathered here today to recognize the nominees and congratulate the award recipients. Thank you, and Sharon Poznancic will recognize our retired nurses.
Hello, everyone, and welcome today. I'm Sharon Poznancic, the Director of Nursing over in Healthcare. We first want to recognize our retired nurses, the people who paved our way, who taught us, who guided us, and who helped us be who we are today. I would now like to read a poem in honor of our retired nurses here at Westminster Canterbury. This is called A Nurse's Retirement Blessing by Barbara S. McAdams. You started on this journey so many years ago. Now it's time to leave behind your friends you've come to know. God blessed you with the knowledge and the skills to heal the lame, but you never judged your patients or attempted to place blame. In times when they were just too weak, you carried them a while, and when their hearts were breaking, you would mend them with a smile. You learned to be a parent for the child left alone, or long-lost son or daughter of the one so far from home. Now I pray God keeps you safe and well wherever you may turn, surrounded by your loved ones living out the dreams you've earned. And in the quiet of your heart, may you hear God softly say, "My good and faithful servant, I'm so proud of you this day." For in those quiet moments, should you think that no one cares, remember all the lives you've touched and the memories that you shared. You've earned a place of honor among the angels here on earth. You're a nightingale who's loved by all, one we're proud to call a nurse. May we give our retired nurses a round of applause. Normally we have a keynote speaker, and we found it appropriate this year that our nurses and our CNAs and our healthcare workers be our keynote speakers. And we're going to show some reflections from the staff who have worked over the last 2 years, and we're going to share a video with you. And after that, we'll do a short remembrance of one of our nurses.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2022 Nurses Week celebration. It is our privilege and honor to be here with each of you today to recognize the work that you do. It's bittersweet for me. This is my first time in 17 years that I'm not there in person, but God willing, I will be in Dallas, Texas with a senior design company looking at ways to make renovations and changes in the Gables. I say that because over the past 2 years, you know that we've been pretty stagnant in what we've been able to do here. We've had to just get through the day-to-day with the safety of our residents and staff at the forefront. So for me, I see this as an opportunity to really re-energize us, our residents, our staff, and to know that change is coming in a positive way. So I apologize for not being there in person, but certainly glad to be able to kick off this video. When we were talking with our nursing committee planning group about what we wanted to do for the keynote speaker, we knew that our speakers were right there in the audience today. Each of you that come in every day, committed to do your very best to our residents, is who we need to highlight and honor over the past 2 years that we've been struggling with this pandemic. Every day, as we know, nurses, all medical staff, they're leaving the medical field in droves. And each of you come in every day committed to us, committed to the residents, committed to Westminster Canterbury. And without any reservation, you come in. I have had staff come in my office and shed a tear and say they can't get through the day without their teammates. That's huge. You don't see that everywhere. And it's obvious that we have it in here at Westminster Canterbury. So on behalf of myself, Will Blackwell, and the rest of the leadership in health services, we thank you for all you've done, and let's enjoy the celebration.
My grandmother fell ill years ago, and I was taking on the role of taking care of her when she had lung cancer, diagnosed with lung cancer. So we end up, the family, deciding to move her to palliative care at the hospital during the end of her life, and I really fell in love with the staff there. So that's what made me get into the healthcare field. I love the way they made me feel during this process, and from there, I wanted to make someone else feel that way.
So my very first job ever in high school was actually waiting tables inside of an assisted living facility. So very early on in my life, I had the opportunity to mingle with that generation and meet a lot of really cool people, hear a lot of cool stories, and I fell in love with it. And I also was very fortunate to have a good friend whose father was really kind of my surrogate father, who was a registered nurse. And he was a big influence and encouraged me to go into the nursing field as well. The nursing field has changed a lot, especially over the last 2 years. But I think the biggest thing I've learned is no matter how good of a nurse you may be or think you may be, none of us are anything without the team that supports us. So I'm very fortunate to work with a really strong team here at Westminster Canterbury, and I'm grateful for everything that we've done collectively over the last 2 years to just survive and get to the point where we are now. So
I think what inspired me most over the last 2 years was just, how resilient our AL team has been through the whole pandemic. We've shared a lot of tears, a lot of laughs, gave each other a lot of hugs, and just continued to work through what was a extremely trying time. And I just come out of it knowing that I have a team that has my back, that will always be there for each other and for our residents, and I'm incredibly grateful for that.
My mother, my grandmother, my aunts, all of them were in the healthcare field. I started off at the Hermitage at the age of 18, and I worked there for 25 years. Then I came over to Westminster, which I've been here for 15 years. I enjoy what I do. I love people, period. I mean, it's just something I love doing. I like taking care of people. When I was about 10 or 12 years old, I always wanted to be a nurse. I had cut my foot real bad, and I stitched my foot up. I got a needle and thread, and I sewed my foot up. So I said, I'm going to be a nurse one day or a doctor. But mostly my mother, she done it for 40 years. And my grandma had done it for 35. Just like I said, my whole family was working at the Hermitage. It's just something I love.
I just wanted to do something different, to make a change. And I love helping people. So what better way for me to do something that I love in helping people? the residents here at Westminster Canterbury been like a second family to me, and I've been here over 21 years. So I met some wonderful people, all of them like family to me, and this is a great place to work and good opportunity to grow.
So me, as hard as it is to believe right now, because I'm kind of trained, so my biggest learn was interaction. I struggle interaction with friends, with meeting new friends, or, just in general, just meeting people. So that was my struggle as growing up and until to my adulthood. So working here at Westminster Canterbury with this community, it's all about interaction. So I learned a lot, and I managed to, kind of, communication and interaction with them, learning from our residents and this community, and it built my focus, my confidence, So I learned a lot from them. So now, I can meet anybody and no problem. I know, how to talk on what words or whatever, things like that. So that I gained that strength. So I'm so blessed that, to work here in this community.
There was a co-worker that worked here, a very special friend of mine. Her name was Annette, and she worked in assisted living. She told me a lot about Westminster. My mom got sick, and me and my sisters and brothers, we were her caregiver. And so after doing that, I just started getting more and more interested in the things Annette was telling me. And here at Westminster, it's a family affair. It really is. It's a team. These girls are my sisters. Sloan is like mom. They're there for me all the time. And the residents are mom and dad. And I can't begin to express all of the things that I've learned from them. I could go on and on and on. Jamie is like that go-to person. Maribel, I mean, they are there for me. And it's like, if it wasn't for them, and I'm about ready to cry, I don't know, because I'm here 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and they're family. And it's a family affair. It's great.
I actually have a couple poems that I wrote in 2020 in the height of the pandemic, so I'm going to read those off. First one's called Sacrifices. Her alarm clock rings, she struggles out of bed. She hasn't slept well with all the stress in her head. She trudges to the bathroom as she rubs her sleepy eyes. She showers and gets dressed and prepares her goodbyes. She gives hugs and kisses, it's just another day. She smiles as they pull her close. I'm sorry, baby, I just can't stay. As she shuts the door behind her, she hustles to her car. The kids stare out the window. She blows them a kiss from afar. Now to get in the zone, her arrival just minutes away, she prepares herself for war. She takes a minute to pray. She reaches in her pocket, removes her armor from its place. Taking a deep breath, she straps the mask to her face. She is screened upon entry, no exposure symptoms or fever. She answers no to all questions. The gate rises to precede her. She makes it through the gate. She parks and walks to the door. They check her temp, it's good, now to head to the floor. Selfless and compassionate, she extends her loving grace. Sometimes all a patient needs is her smile and warm embrace. She sees people at their lowest, but cares for them holistically. She mends their mind, body, and soul, using her many approaches artistically. Her cape, though invisible, is often quite apparent. Her kindness and empathy, she has no choice but to share it. Advocating is second nature. She will fight for them to the end. Her patients know they can trust her, as if she was a long-lost friend. As the regulations get tighter, it seems like year after year, she spends less time at the bedside, something she has grown to love so dear. Her purpose is made evident each time she offers her shoulder. Her patients are more than their diagnoses. You should hear the stories they've told her. Exhausted and disappointed, she wishes she could save the world. Losing a patient is the hardest. All of her emotions become unfurled. She delivers the tragic news as she tries to stay strong and tall. She holds herself together for them. She can't let them see her tears fall. She quickly wipes one away, remembering others still depend on her. She pushes her needs to the side. One day she'll address them, I'm sure. She's just got to keep going. There's no time to sit now. It's time to pass pills round and chart. Her emotions become her plow. It's a never-ending cycle. Her selflessness is Myra's. She vows to keep on sacrificing to ensure others beat the virus. And I have one more. This one's called Loss. She combs his hair and washes his face. She sings him his favorite song. His eyes are closed and his breathing has slowed. She knows it won't be long. She holds his hand as she speaks to him. As someone brings her the phone, she FaceTimes his family before she leaves so that he won't have to be alone. This isn't right, she thinks, as she mumbles under her breath. I have multiple patients like that, I know, but I really shouldn't have left. There's not enough staff for all the COVID patients. There's not enough PPE. She didn't choose nursing for it to be like this. She says, this just isn't me. But if not her, then who will? These people need someone. Some say the worst is over now. Some say it's just begun. She hustles to get through her task, and she finds her way back to him. The family updates her, and she states that the outlook is quite grim. The family cries, and she comforts them. See, they are her patients too. They've said their goodbyes, and they continue to cry. He no longer resembles who they knew. His breathing becomes agonal. She medicates him as she can. She remembers the stories he has told her, and how he was a God-fearing man. She takes a minute to pray for him, an intimate act of respect. He gasps for air, and she closes the door. His dignity she will protect. While holding his hand, she whispers, I'm here, it's okay to go. He gently squeezes her hand as if to say, I know. His color fades and his breathing stops. She lets out a tear of grief. She leaves him there to update the position, and then reflects in disbelief. She feels like this is a movie. This can't really be going on. The craziness and increased mortality prove that her normal is now gone. She informs the family in the funeral home, and she cleans his body delicately. He appears peaceful and at ease, something he wanted so desperately. COVID makes you suffocate more and more in every hour. Machines help you breathe, maybe, but your organs become overpowered. This virus has no mercy, she thinks. So many lives have been lost. She holds her head high despite the fear, vowing to fight it at all cost. Nursing is an art form. It is beautiful and ugly all in one. This too shall pass, but she knows it won't last, as a nurse's work is never done. Through all the stress that we carry, I have never been more inspired than by the staff at Westminster Canterbury. And that's it.
If I had to choose one thing, it was getting to watch the staff shine. They had to go through the most adverse, terrible time in nursing that I can remember, and they shined through it all. They became innovative. They learned how to improvise with PPE. They learned how to work when the staffing was very critical, yet get all of their work done and be able to be there for the residents and their family members who weren't able to come in, yet they made sure that they got to FaceTime, that they got to talk to them on the phone, and to be there for them when their families couldn't be there with them. I also feel such pride in the staff. The staff who stepped forward and selflessly went to the COVID unit, even though they didn't have COVID, and put themselves in harm's way because they love their patients so much, and they love being at Westminster Canterbury. And that's what makes Westminster Canterbury what it is today. And it wasn't just the nursing staff, but all the teams that came together for the residents' sake.
The one thing that I will never forget that happened over the last 2 years is the dedication and loyalty displayed by the nursing staff as they protected and cared for the residents.
What influenced me to enter the healthcare field is knowing that I can help people who cannot help themselves, knowing that I am at someone's home, being able to give them that relaxation or that comfort, being that they can call me to do whatever they can do, that they can't do. So that's why I'm here. So it's like a great motivation being around people who can't really help themselves, but I'm here to help them. So that's what really motivated me to get into it.
So I think the biggest lesson that I've learned during the pandemic is the importance of those you love and those that love you. I think it made you realize who was important, what was important. The staying at home, the isolation, the coming to and from work was basically all we did. So it was phone calls, FaceTimes, text messages. That's all we had. And we became the loved ones of the residents that we took care of because they were unable to see theirs. So I think for me, the biggest lesson that I learned is don't sweat the small stuff. Realize what's important, and that is your family, that is your friends, your loved ones, your supporters.
Watching the staff come in day after day, persevering through all of the challenges that we had, in the beginning. We didn't know what to expect. Rules changed every day. They held their heads high. They continued to care for our residents with love and compassion. And, they stepped in when family was absent. They were there for FaceTimes and all that kind of thing. They were there at the holiday times and lifting their spirits, but never let get them down. We had tough days, but they've really toughed it out, and really makes me proud to be part of them.
My mom encouraged me to take the CNA class. When I first started, I really didn't like it, but I enjoy what I do every day. That's why I'm still doing it. I've been doing it for almost 8 years. It's just something, I love helping people. I always worked in this field. Well, my grandma has dementia, so me working in this field really helped me to understand what she's going through. And I look at my residents as my family, and I really love what I do every day.
The one thing that does come to mind is, number one, I'm in disbelief that the pandemic is still going on. Number two, probably, which is the most significant memory I have, is the fact that I still can't get over that during my lifetime that I would be witnessing a pandemic that would last so long and affect millions of people, not just here, not people in healthcare, just millions of people around the world. I don't think I can look at life the way I knew it before. Some people have changed for the worse. Some people have really risen above the occasion and really showed their true self. But the thing that pains me the most is that I'm not really certain at this point if life is ever going to go back to what it was, especially what we've witnessed here in healthcare. We've lost so many residents that I've come to know and love in the 9 years that I've worked here. And it really just breaks my heart that this continues to be a struggle in this entire world, that there's still a lot of people that won't get on board to try to be a part of the cure. For me, there's just been too much death. If I choose life as a nurse, as a mother, as a wife, a friend, a sister, somebody's child, I would choose life all day long. And if all I had to do was get a quick vaccination, get myself boosted, and hopefully be a part of the cure, that's what I want to do. And I think these residents that I take care of certainly deserve that. And that's the least I can do for everything they've ever done for us since I've been employed here. And like I said, I'm looking forward to a better tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's face. I'm tired of seeing everybody behind the mask. So that's all I can share.
From the last 2 years being so confined, our residents being isolated, just how happy they were to see familiar faces when you come in the morning. They're happy that you're there. And the few times that just little gestures. As soon as she seen me in the morning in her wheelchair, she would roll up, grab my hand, and stayed with me almost the entire day, holding on to me. And sorry, I will keep that forever. Just knowing that we make a difference in their lives every day.
We are now going to do a short remembrance of Sandra Powell, LPN. This is called the Nightingale's Tribute. Nursing is a calling, a lifestyle, a way of living. Nurses here today honor our colleague Sandra Powell, LPN, who is no longer with us, and her life as a nurse. Sandra is not remembered by her years of service, but by the difference she made during those years by stepping into people's lives, by special moments, and mostly her smile that we can all remember. Sandra will always be the PHC 3 South Guardian Angel.
Good afternoon. I am Dr. Joanna Vaughn, Assistant Director of Nursing for Parsons Healthcare. The TAB Award was established through a gift to Westminster Canterbury Foundation in 1989 by George Morton Tabb in memory of his wife, Frances May Tabb. The awards were established to recognize service excellence and are presented each year to nursing assistants. In 1991, Mr. Tabb married Mary Virginia Cockrell in the Westminster Canterbury Chapel. Mary Virginia Tabb generously continued to support this award from the time of Mr. Tabb's death in 1994 until her own passing in 2014. We appreciate George and Mary Virginia's commitment to the staff and this recognition. We will now begin with the nominees from Parsons Healthcare, followed by nominees from Assisted Living. Helen Battle. Nancy Kamick. Latoya Jackson. Tashina Johnson. Linda Luke. Cherry Mason. Julie Nichols. Lakia Peebles. Donna Michelle Powell. Shanita Randolph. Tashameen Thornton. Josephine Villamera, Philip Ward, Jarvis Way, Jordan Johnson, Lori Evans. And lastly, Brenda Burwell. The nominees for assisted living are Grace Abbey, and Maribel Lambert. Also nominated but unable to attend today. Sorry, we have a new development. Teresa Simpson is here. Come on, Teresa. Okay, now we're going to move to people who were nominated but are unable to attend today. Pam Brooks, Sheila Cook Horton, Kim Fortune, Dominique Harris, Tangi Height, Phoenicia Joseph, Tanika McCrae, Karima Nafil, Cecilia Nelson, Anelis Ruiz Nieves, Denise Sumsky, Latasha White, Barbara Williams, Rodney Ross, and Rebecca Booth. Let's have a round of applause for all of our nominees. Okay, please be seated.
Congratulations to all the nominees. I'm now going to go over the nominees for the Clinical Excellence Award. The Clinical Excellence Award was established to honor one clinician for outstanding practice as a licensed nurse. This person demonstrates the skills of his or her trade with professionalism, compassion, and patience. As a role model for others, they should exhibit a bedside manner that is comforting yet honest, a knowledge base that is broad without losing the desire to learn, and an ability to prioritize and provide care without bias or judgment. Our clinicians of the year show exemplary leadership abilities and are a resource for other staff, residents, and families. In our highly regulated and demanding profession, we wish to recognize the nurses who achieve all these characteristics with consistency. We will begin with the nominees from assisted living in the clinic, followed by nominees from Parsons House Center. From assisted living and the clinic, Della Burson, Chris Burton, Robert Flowers, and Karis Tonson. Now from Parsons Health Center, from Parsons Health Center, Megan Afridi. Marlena Bassett. Essence Capati. Brenda Stacy George. Carrie Hall. Patricia Moore. And Amber Schilling. Also nominated but unable to attend today were Benjamin Owaku, Terrence Banks, Zelma Braxton, Jamie Eustace Hines, Cheryl Grix, Janine Johnson, Asia Jones, Crystal Spain, Vanessa Payne, and Morgan Thompson, who is now a member of the Home Health Hospice team. Let's give a round of applause for our nominees.
I now have the honor of announcing the recipients of our TAB Award. Our first recipient showed remarkable dedication throughout the pandemic, picking up extra shifts and working under the strains of a staff shortage with pride and resilience. I would like to add that since 2019, this recipient has only missed one day of work. It is with great pleasure that I announce our first recipient as Brenda Burwell.
Congratulations. I'm sneaking in on this one. Congratulations.
Our second recipient is kind and loving to her residents. She has a very calm demeanor and is always willing to help. This award goes to Lori Evans. Congratulations. Our next recipient said, "Winning this award would mean that I made my residents comfortable and happy during their stay in healthcare." Our next award goes to Linda Luke. This nominee said, "My job is rewarding. I love and care for all my residents as well as my coworkers. That is truly the reason why I do what I do. The next award is given to Lakia Peebles. This next recipient shows admirable compassion and dedication to our residents and to her coworkers. She is always flexible and helps whenever needed. She loves her residents, and it shows in the care that she gives to them. This award goes to Shanita Randolph. Our final award recipient from healthcare is a hardworking individual who is admired by residents and staff alike. He is also furthering his knowledge and training to be a restorative nursing assistant. Our next recipient is Philip Ward. Congratulations. The other TAB Award winners from Parsons who were not able to attend today are Pam Brooks, Kim Fortune, Tangi Height, and Phoenicia Joseph. I will now announce the TAB Award winners from Assisted Living. This TAB Award winner from Assisted Living said she would feel a sense of appreciation to know that someone thinks highly of her and her work, that she tries to do the very best of her abilities. This award goes to Teresa Simpson. Congratulations. TAB Award winners from Assisted Living who were not able to attend today are Karima Nafil and Onelis Ruiz Nieves. Congratulations and thank you for all you do.
Now the excitement continues. I wanted to just make it clear that through the generosity of the foundation, we will be presenting the 3 clinical awards as Lori announced. Normally it's 1, but we are doing 1 for the past 3 years. I now have the honor of announcing a Clinical Excellence Award for Parsons Health Center. This nominee said that winning this award would mean that I am doing the right thing with the right people in the right place. She feels her residents are an extended part of her family and considers being a nurse not only a passion, but her purpose. It has been my honor and privilege to watch this nurse grow, not only as a nurse, but as a leader over the past several years. It gives me great pleasure to present our first Clinical Excellence Award to Carrie Hall.
So this may not come as a surprise, but I have the pleasure of presenting an award to someone who's well respected, clearly adored by children, And not only is he well respected in the department that he works in, but with other members of the team throughout our community, including other nurses and physicians. He shies away from recognition, but a certain family member wouldn't allow that today, which is just awesome. I'm pleased and proud to share that our next Clinical Excellence Award goes to Chris Burton. This nurse I'm about to introduce as our last Clinical Excellence Award winner received many nominations from our residents, more than anyone ever, I'm pretty sure. These are words that was used to describe this nurse: warmth, care, knowledgeable, experienced, capable, calm, and caring. The list could go on and on. This nurse shared what winning this award would mean by saying that she would not be seen just for what she does, but for the effort she puts into what she does. What a treasure for us that she shares her talents and efforts with our residents. So it gives me great pleasure, and I just want you to know how hard it's been to keep this secret, that this Excellence Award is presented to Della Burson.
Because we all know how important human touch is, particularly in the field of nursing, it's been a wonderful tradition here at Westminster Canterbury to bless the hands of our award recipients and all of our caregivers. There will be chaplains available in November Gallery for anybody who'd like to have their hands blessed following the service.
We're almost at the end. This has been a long time coming, and it's been a tough 3 years. So I get to hear a lot of bad things, and I get to hear a lot of good things. I recently received this letter overnight, and I wanted to share it with you, so I'm going to try to read it. And this is one of our residents here at Westminster Canterbury. Her family sent me this letter. On behalf of 4 generations from a beloved family at Westminster Canterbury Richmond, I share our collective appreciation for all the care and love that Westminster Canterbury provided to our mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. From independent living to Avalon, to Gables, and on to Mary Morton Parsons. We cannot express the magnitude of our gratitude for all she received and enjoyed throughout her final years. The timing of this letter is great. National Nurses Week. Through the various levels of her needs and benefits of care for her and all of us, frankly, these were immeasurable. Those who worked especially close with her and with us know our great gratitude and affection. Most notably are those in her final days. Please share our gratitude with all the staff, clinical, facilities, food and beverage, horticulture, arts and programs, volunteers, management, and leadership. Remind them Mom would want them to always sing and to remember that she said thank you every day. It's a beautiful letter. I would like to thank Lori Yount and her team of helpers for putting this program together today in honor of our great nurses. Congratulations to all the nominees and award recipients. Being nominated is an honor. Receiving an award is quite an accomplishment. Westminster Canterbury wishes you all the best as you continue your excellence in care for our most precious residents. Thank you for coming, and please join us for a reception in the November gallery. Please follow me to escort the award recipients to the Letty Pate Whitehead room prior to you all exiting the gallery. Thank you for coming today.